don't see any good answers. I really don't see any good answers with the Steelers quarterback situation. And truly, that's where it's at in the NFL. It's more important than the coach. The right quarterback, what do they say? What is the saying, Bob? A rising tide lifts all boats?
It does.
And we see that every year. Now you got to get the right guy. Jaden Daniels took a 4-13 team to the cusp of a Super Bowl. Joe Burrow got the Bengals there. He had no offensive line. We've seen other people do that in recent years where they just, who did it? C.J. Stroud took a Texans team last year that was no way ready to win that roster and took them all the way to a playoff win. Remember what those felt like, Bob? I don't know where we are here. That's my point. There's no clarity. It doesn't feel like there's any good option for getting out of where the Steelers have been mired for years and years, and that is, at the very best, like the ceiling is good. The ceiling is the roof, as they say. And it feels like it's just, it's what Mike Tomlin said when he replaced Justin Fields. Do you remember that, Bob? He replaced Justin Fields when they were 4-2.
Like we are good, we could be great, or something of that nature.
He was hailed as a conquering hero, the Lone Ranger. He has a winning record, and he's changing quarterbacks. Wow. And Tomlin said, Justin has been really good, and we've been really good at times, but not to be confused with great.
Justin has been really good, and we've been really good at times, but not to be confused with great. Man, this is a competitive league, man. We're trying to position ourselves to be that team.
Man, that sounds daring and tough, and we don't settle for good, and good is the enemy of great. Yeah, the Steelers just talk about that. Other teams actually live it, including teams in the Super Bowl. They come off a 12-4 season in Kansas City back in 2016 with a Pro Bowl quarterback and say this is not good enough. They could have lived there for a long time, just like the Steelers are. But they trade from 27th to 10th and take a shot at Mahomes, giving up a first-round pick. Look at them. The Eagles are the greatest example of good is the enemy of great. They were good under Andy Reid, better than most, certainly above the mean, Bob. 5 NFC championships. Chip Kelly, 20 wins in 2 years. Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl win. Yet they keep changing coaches. Yet we hear Art saying, hey, if you have a good coach, you stay with him forever. That's basically what I heard him say. Weren't his exact words. That's what I heard him say. Somebody should tell him that they change coaches like socks across the state and they keep going to Super Bowls. My overall point is, how do the Steelers get out of this? Because the ceiling for me with Wilson and Fields is good. How do they get from good to great at the quarterback spot, Bob? It feels hopeless.
When you are chasing this, and I agree with what you said earlier, that I think, if you have a quarterback, it makes everything look better. Your coaching staff, your players, your defense, everything. And that's the chase that you're in right now. And you can't go year to year always chasing because it sets your franchise back. So you got to figure it out. And this may not be the year to figure it out. If that's the case, then most likely they'll end up bringing back Fields, I would imagine, on a lesser contract, give him an opportunity. Looking back, Joe, what they should have done, and I know at the time Mike Tomlin felt very, very aggressive about this. Looking back, they should have just ridden with Fields all year because you would have been at a different spot, I think. You would have at least had more information and knowledge of what he could do with this group for the entire season, not just 6 games. That's hindsight, though. So now you got to figure out what you're going to do with this. And I don't know what their answer. I think they're still searching and trying to figure out. Nick Fairball is there. I'm really anxious to hear what he says about this because I've heard the same things. Very inconsistent and erratic kind of quarterback play. So do you actually use a higher draft pick on a quarterback who may not be that guy in the near future? Because you have a lot of other positions that need help. Or do you just say, look, we're not going to waste a pick because we don't have grades on these guys that indicate they're going to be franchise quarterbacks. We'll figure out something for now, but we got to load up on other areas so that when we do get the chance to bring in a quarterback, we have some guys that we can surround him with.